Were there any other memorable interactions that other people had that you find particularly interesting or that stick out in your mind? Either friends or neighbors or just people around the community?
Well, there was, there's a, well, I just remember as a young boy, for instance, and I don't remember her first name. Well, maybe I shouldn't name names anyway, but was a lady. She grew up in a very, very poor family. As a matter of fact, she was related to this family that was living in the slum section of Kjäakjsche. That woman whose husband had abandoned her. Yeah. She was related to that lady. Now, I'm not sure if they were sisters or not, but anyway, she had married a Mexican who apparently was extremely abusive. And one time she had been very beaten up and she was very bruised and so on. And she showed up at our place. Yeah. In Quinta Lupita. Yeah. And my mom had tremendous compassion, and so she just invited her to stay at our place, and she lived with us for about half a year, and just helped along the house and stuff like that. And with that, she could live with us, you know, because she had nothing. Yeah. She came with what she was wearing. That was it. Yeah. And she had been beaten up very badly, and so Mom took care of her. And when she got better, then she became a Kjäakjsche, or a like just a help in the house. Yeah. But for that, she could eat and live and sleep and whatever she was. Yeah. And I just remember that as a young boy, I fell in love with this lady. Like not in any other way than that. I just really, really had a heart for her. Like having known what she's been through and so on. And that she was such a caring woman. Yeah. But you could just always see the pain of her life in her eyes. And so we saw a fair bit of that. My mom was, in some ways, families like that connected better to our family because my mom's experience, right? Yeah, and so, absolutely. So we saw a lot of that side. Yeah. More of that side than the rich and having whatever and those kind, that kind of life. We saw more of this side that was, another example of that would have been a Mexican woman. An old, shriveled little lady that had hung around this part of the city where my one sister worked in a pharmacy, and I forget the name of that pharmacy, but a small little Mexican woman. She was a beggar, just completely wrinkles and old, and she had been mistreated very, very badly, and so. We had very little interaction with her, but the Mexicans saw, and they would throw rocks at her and call her Bruja or witch, and she was horribly mistreated. And I just remember one day my mom caught a ride to go to the city, and I was sick. I was not feeling well, and so she had taken me along. She was going to do some shopping. Yeah, we would always hitchhike, Yeah, and. Two of us boys would have to stand at the road and watch for a vehicle coming when a vehicle would come, and then one guy would quickly run and tell Mom, there's somebody coming, and the other guy would try to stop him and see if they were going to the city, if Mom could have a ride, and then that's how she would go shopping for a number of years. Yeah. Anyway, and so I was quite sick at that time, so she took me along and took me to the pharmacy, and that was our doctor, right? Yeah, for sure. We didn't have money to go to the doctor, we go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist would look at you a little bit and then give you some medication, and so I wasn't feeling well. So my mom would do the shopping, and then she would, and then we would wait in the pharmacy. There was a waiting bench. We'd sit there and wait with whatever she had shopped, and wait for them to give my sister Maria a ride home. Oh, and go back with them. And then we would go back with them. We would catch a ride home with them. And if we couldn't do that, or if that wasn't the right time of the day, or whatever, then she would have to somehow save 6 pesos to pay for a taxi to go home. Yeah. But anyway, so feeling sick, I went and sat in front of the pharmacy, and just to sit in the sun, like it just helped me feel a bit better. Yeah. And here comes this, and I have no idea what her name was, but that they called Bruja. She's coming down the sidewalk, and she stops and she picks up 2 good-sized rocks, in her hands, And I'm sitting there on the edge of the sidewalk, and she's coming along, and she's coming right behind me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when I saw her coming, I was so extremely tempted to just get up and quickly go inside, you know, because I was afraid, I was scared to death of this woman, because I didn't know what she was going to. And then when she picks up those rocks, I thought, wow, what you going to do with that? I'm in such deep trouble. But I am not going to go inside. I'm not going to show her that rejection, you know. I couldn't do it. But I was scared, just extremely scared. And I just sat there and just stared forward. And she comes right behind me. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, this one rock lands on the street. Mm-hmm. And then I think, she missed. And then the other one lands on the street. Mm-hmm. Okay, she only had the two. And I look around, and she's standing right behind me here. And she's just throwing away the rocks. She's not throwing them at me. And she smiles down at me, and she says, "Buen dia, no?" Así es, I said back. That's all I knew how to say, you know. And at that changed my heart completely for that woman. I saw a human being that actually cares, that actually sees beauty, or you know, enjoys a beautiful day.
And it normalized those interactions.
Just that was, to me, that's a very, very memorable, however brief that interaction was. But from then on, I always saw her different. You know, I would not run from her. I was not afraid of her. I would always greet her and stuff like that. I still don't remember what her name was. But I, you know, I knew that she was a real, genuine human being that was just, because she, you know, they would tease her and stuff like that, and she would get angry. She would throw rocks, you know. So that was one that I remember that to me was an amazing turn to, you know, and changing my heart towards those downtrodden. Realizing how very, very difficult life must be for them. Absolutely. You know. And that among the Mexicans there was those, and you saw that all the time. I mean, another one that that for me is very memorable is another beggar, Mexican beggar. We always called him Oola Lupe. His name was Lupe. That's all I know. But he was very old. So old Lupe is what we called him. You know? And he always carried this old button. What do you call those?
The accordion.
The accordion. Yeah. The accordion. And he would have it in an old cloth, all tied up in a bundle, and he would carry it on his back, and he'd come all hunched over down the road. And we would see while we were coming, oh, there comes Oola Lupe, you know. And we knew he was going to sit down at the gate, and he would sit down, and he would just untie his bundle and start playing his accordion. And he could play well, you know. He would play these rancheritas, and I would always go and sit down beside him and just listen. And when he had played a couple of songs, and I would go to the house and tell Mom that Oola Lupe is there, and you know, and that he's hungry and stuff. And then Mom would like, we didn't have much to give to him. She would give them what we ate, and she would take out she would cut a couple of thick slices of bread, you know. I always thought, man, why does she never cut them that thick for us, you know? And then she would spread real thick with jam, and sometimes make a cup of coffee. And then I would take that and go to the street and sit down beside him and give him this. And he would eat. Sometimes he would eat one slice or cut, you know, break it in half and eat half and save up the other half maybe for later. Have his coffee but he would always, you know. And that every time he comes through, that was kind of, I always loved enjoying to go and sit there. Or a number of us kids would come, and we would just just huddle around him and just listen to him play and interact with him. And he was also a very, very honorable man. He was a beggar, but more honorable than I think many of us Mennonites were. I learned a lot from Lupe, from that Bruja, and that changed my character. Gave me compassion. So that was very real. You know, and having the way our family, also the way, you know, where we were at in the whole status quo, you know, that helped you to understand them, you know.